Welcome everyone to the new moon celebration in Taurus. And I know y'all thought we were going to get a rest. We did kind of have a little rest, maybe kind of a baby one. And this, once we get a handle on how to ride the bike, this one will be okay. Let's call in sacred space. Let's all take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, drop those grounding cords, send your roots down into the earth. Now, we're not in this Taurus new moon just yet, but the sun is in Taurus. So I want you to just feel that grounded energy. Then inhale, draw that earth energy up through your body, send it up and out through the top of the head, connecting with the heart of the divine above us. And then inhaling, drawing that cosmic energy back down, sending it all the way back down into the earth, activating the as above, so below flow. Connecting with that flow, breathing in, breathing out, activate the as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give such great thanks to be here in physical bodies, doing this sacred work right now. Moving to the south, we welcome water, we welcome clear, clean, current emotions. We welcome love, joy, flow, and abundance. Moving to the west, we welcome air, mind, focus, and clarity. All of our guides, angels, allies, and helpers in the invisible realm. And moving to the east, we welcome fire and movement and passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we welcome our divine feminine and our divine masculine in sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy down through our bodies. We call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into the circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, and dance with us for mutual benefit. Oh, nice. I really hope I can come up with this. My password. Oh no, I remember. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Try again. Gonna make me not do this. Okay. I can't connect to the server right now. So we're just gonna jump in without movement, which I don't like to do, but we're gonna do it. All right. Take a moment. And I know that maybe you have stories in your life already, but just in case you haven't had this experience yet of all of the things we're going to talk about, close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and take a breath. And let yourself get out of your head and really feel your body. And notice what's going on in there. If you haven't been guided by Pluto to do this already, you will be. especially under this moon. All right. I want you to internally think about how all the shifts have been affecting you. We get so, I mean, we're already busy and it feels like we're juggling the world. We're juggling everything. And we can get narrowly focused and not take the time to really go, why am I really here? And how is all of this change affecting my physical body? How am I going to listen so that I can take into account what my body has to say to me about these changes and support my body so I can hang out here a little bit longer? That is what we're being asked to do. So background, I'm laughing. So, and we talked about a lot of this, but I want you to see the big, I want you to step back and see the big picture here. We talked about this last week. It's on my YouTube channel. It's in an email. If you have, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, if you haven't watched the full moon in Scorpio recording, a lot of this is there. So I'm just giving you the overview, but right before that big outpouring that we had on May 1st, and I know a lot of you were in ceremony that day, that was a big deal. And it was one of those ceremonies, at least for me, that felt really good. It felt like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. But right before that, Uranus was in Gemini. So, it just moved, and that's its new placement. This is where it's going to stay. So this is a whole reset, it's making us think differently. And it's about how we communicate, because Aquarius, right? And how we use our brains and how we think outside the box. It will mean breakthroughs in technology, AI, the age of air. But here's the thing. We're boots on the ground, humans, hopefully with a little friggin' discernment. We're not just supposed to leave it to the computers. This is about truth, freedom, and expression. And it's about all of us, because of what's coming or what's already here, what followed this, being authentically true to who we are at soul level, period. And we will be spending until October figuring that out. And anytime that we move one way or the other, we'll get a reminder in the physical world. That's what Uranus is about, surprises. Hello. It's rewiring the mind, breaking patterns, because all of us have gotten into habits of relating and behaving with each other. And we may have been putting up with things we don't need to put up with. We may have been tolerating things. We may have been not speaking when we should have been speaking. It is a collective reawakening. And so there's a lot of things going on this planet that we don't agree with. None of us in this circle agree with. And we haven't been saying the thing. Uranus is in Gemini. Gemini is a talker. That's why you all come to these. So there's that. That started in April. Then, 5-6 days later, we have this big outpouring of here's all the blessings that we are going to bestow on you. And here's all the support and help you need from all of the divine energies anywhere in existence right now are all focused on Earth because she's in labor pains. Now, all of you that are in my priestess circles know this, just in case you need a reminder. I am sure many of you set intentions. Anything not like your intention that was set in ceremony is going to be up for clearing. So, a week later, here comes Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto's been there for a minute. It's been getting its sea legs in this new way of thought. And it is all about our lessons. It's all about, you came here to learn how to not do this. And, I love this little tagline, the power you project returns to be claimed. So if there are places in any, especially, so think about this, Pluto's in retrograde till October. So we have several moon cycles. We have the sun is going to go through several iterations while it's in that space. So those are going to be layered in. And it starts in Taurus. I mean, it started a little bit before Taurus, but it starts when the sun is in Taurus, the physical realm. So it is telling, and so everything that Taurus rules right now is what we need, because there's a lot, but for right now, it's what we need to focus on. Our physical body, our physical health, our job, how we bring in money, all of those things are where we need to, excuse me, go in. Are we really being true to who we are and what we say we're about? Are we saying the things that need to be said? This is where we begin to reclaim your power from systems, screens, tribes, and inherited identities. Any place where you have been being quiet to be nice, but something needs to be said, no one else is showing up. You're it. We need to see the shadow inside of ourselves begin to grow. In other words, all those places, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but all those places that I'll get to that in a minute. We need to release what is already over so the phoenix can rise. And stop outsourcing our authority. Remember who we are at soul level. We got invited to come. Mom knew, I need all the midwives. I need them right now. So it's not about talking revolution. It's about becoming that. And that doesn't mean you have to go out and wave your flag anywhere. Go in. Okay, enough preaching. So new moon is happening this Saturday, 3:01 my time, 3:01 Central Time. And once again, I love Taurus. Taurus new moons. This is like my idea of Taurus time is sitting outside, digging your feet in the grass, maybe in a lawn chair, or just flat on the ground, drinking lemonade, watching the flowers grow. That's Taurus. It's also great for new beginnings in money, security, making money, setting intentions on how you want to bring in money in new ways. Great for putting down roots, reveling in the pleasure of the five senses, and enjoying the natural world. It also supports appropriate continuation of existing situations. So things that are working, we don't want to fix. And it's all about just being. But per usual, this one's different because it is a value reset portal. This is an opening where we go inside. What do we really value? And you'll get to see up close and personal. This has already happened to me. You'll get to see up close and personal the thing that you have been ignoring that you really value more than anything else. And how you've been neglecting it. That's what Pluto is here to show you. So forward movement now is supported. It's like we've had kind of, it's like after the big outpouring, things have been kind of quiet. Because, you know, that Pluto is shaking the ground that we sit on right now. So lots of energy to move forward on projects, but you better make sure what you're doing is in alignment with your values, period. So here's a picture of the chart. You can see all of these planets up here in Taurus, and these little guys are the goddesses. This is Ceres, I don't know. So she's the grain goddess, so lots of abundance happening, and she's just at 0. So she'll be moving through Taurus for a while. So there's, like I said, opportunities abound. I don't want this to sound negative. This is a total opportunity. It's like last week, or 2 weeks ago, I said, I don't even think I set any intentions. I did a little ritual and open to receive, which is opposite of what we usually do on full moons. But I did that. Now in this Taurus new moon where we can initiate activity, this is where we want to really, before we do anything, think about, who am I really? What am I really about? What is really the most important thing to me? And is my behavior aligning with that? So notice here the sun and moon both at 25 degrees, you know, they're aligned. That's when we have a new moon, when they're both in the same sign. And this one is about money, worth, stability, in one of the most unstable times humans have ever experienced on this planet, and embodiment, sustainability. How do we hold it? How do we hold the balance and let humanity go through the changes they need to go through so we can stay here while she goes through the changes that she needs to go through to right herself after what we've done to her. This is going to be challenging. That's why it's happening in the age of Aquarius, because we got to pull some really big new ideas out of our hat right now. Now here's the kicker. And I don't know if you all know this, but Taurus, or Venus, is in charge of Taurus. She's the ruling planet of Taurus. But Venus isn't in Taurus right now. Here's Venus hanging out over here with Uranus, and she's in Gemini. So this energy is moving, not settling. So where we want to just sit and, like I said, drink lemonade outside, Venus is like, come on, y'all. It's time to go. It's time to get up and get ready. Get your clothes on. Get out of bed. Because this new moon, it's like, isn't in Taurus. She's in Gemini, just like Uranus, and they're both about movement. And what it means is that what we value, once we figure that out, it's going to be shaped by communication. Money flows through ideas, conversations, connections. Attraction happens through language, frequency, and mental resonance. So what you think right now matters. And there are forces out there that know this and are trying to influence you. That's why we said, get off the screens. You have to get inside of you so clear so that you know what your right next step is, not what someone's telling you. So instead of what we usually expect from Taurus, build something stable and solid, it changes. The message is your stability comes from how you connect, communicate, think, and adapt. And adaptation is going to be required. We can't for one moment think that we can all, millions of people on this planet, can keep doing the same things we're doing and not have a different outcome. There's going to be outcomes we don't like. So how do we manage the transition? And how do we do that in creative ways? And I have a suggestion for some of you. Some of you are already doing this. Carolyn, I have no idea right now, but we can talk about it later in class. But ask. That would be my guidance to you. Ask. Ask what it means. Don't ask me. Ask your guidance, and you'll get that. So the other thing that we need to think about, and I've seen this happening all over the place, not just in my own life. How you think and feel, and is it in alignment with who you really are? And like I said, especially close in relationships, many of us have probably learned to behave like someone we're not. Okay. And then you're in situations where all of this information just flows out of your mouth and people are looking at you and they don't understand you. Here's the other piece of this. This is the Pluto piece. By the way, you need to get that thing in your physical body looked at. You need to, if exercise is something you've been not doing, you need to do that. If you haven't been drinking enough water or eating right, you need to do that now, not when you get to it. Now. Just now. And if you haven't, then things are going to show up and that will demand it. So don't push it. I mean, we've pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. Don't push it anymore. So no more, I'll do it when I get to it, or I'll think about that later. Later is now. and slow Taurus, who may want you to move a bit faster, who's, she's going to be patient, but she's going to tell you, it's time to get up. It's time to pull the pillow out from off of your head and wake up. So Venus and Gemini brings, excuse me, and this is where you need to pay attention with your intentions. Multiple income streams, being flexible, meeting new people and conversations, learning, teaching, exchange, all of those Gemini things that Gemini thinks is really cool is potentially, this is a potential opportunity for everybody. Those of you that are entrepreneurs, set the intention to draw the right and perfect clients to you right now. And how do you do that? And how do you speak to them? And what kind of income do you want and need? Tell the universe right now. Because what this can also bring, if you're not on your game, and I have felt this just this morning trying to get this ready, inconsistency, if you're not anchored, scattered energy, not being able to focus, over talking instead of embodying, not being able to think straight. So that's all that Venus is bringing. And then you add Uranus to the mix, because they're very far apart. They're almost, because Uranus is at 0 and Venus, I believe, is, she's way over in a different house right now. So they're almost 30 degrees apart. So they're not tightly on top of each other, thank goodness. But because Uranus is newly in this new sign, and they're both hanging out together in the same sign, Venus can be unpredictable. So, and remember, Uranus is the planet of surprises and, oh, I'm going to think really fast and we need to change this. We need to change it now. Here. And then before you know it, something's happening. So it can turn Venus into unpredictable, innovative, non-traditional, and disruptive. But those aren't bad things inherently. I have a dear friend who lost their job. Now, they weren't really being supported in that job the way they wanted to be supported, but it was a job and they were doing their due diligence. And it's gone. But there's another opportunity that had already crossed their path before that happened, that they have the opportunity to move into. All of that was unpredictable, innovative, non-traditional, and very disruptive. But it could translate into something that was better, far better than beyond their dreams, beyond their wildest dreams. That is the energy of Uranus and Venus, or Uranus and Venus in Taurus. Well, not in Taurus, under the Taurus moon, but in Gemini. It's like, it's going to be chaotic. There's going to be new ideas and new things happen. And we may have to pivot really quickly, but we'll be able to do that. So here's the translation. Income patterns, pricing structures, people you meet, attraction, physical health. Everything Taurus rules are not meant to stay the same. So here's where you set your intention. Intend to improve them. Improve your money situation. Improve your physical health. Improve your living situation. Improve, up level the people you hang out with, the conversations you have, what you talk about. Vision the new earth the way you thought it was going to be when you got here. Because no, you came here to make it that way. And you can do that with your thoughts. So no gloom and doom. Be real, look at what's really here, and intend to make a change. And then also note to self, pay attention to what Pluto wants me to clean up, because all of us have those places. Okay. So other things happening. Mercury is also in Taurus. Mercury is generally ruled by, wait for it, Gemini. But so we have this kind of dichotomy where they flipped. So now it's in Taurus. So Mercury, the mind ruled by Gemini, now is in Taurus. Venus, that is normally ruled by Taurus, is now in Gemini. So it's going to make Venus fast, and it's going to slow your thinking down so that you can actually think straight. But in the interim, that may feel a little confusing. It'll create tension. Your thinking wants stability, and your value system wants to move. So this is going to give you the this is very strategic on the part of the planets. It's like it's going to give you the opportunity to slow the heck down and think things through before you open your mouth. And the question becomes, can you stay grounded while allowing your expression to evolve to a more authentic version of you? So just a little sidebar so you understand what this means. I love my daughters. Both of them think I'm nuts, but I love them. They have strong opinions about my personal practices, i.e., dirt time, sitting on the ground. And I have been going to take care of my grandbaby 2 days a week that is inundated with EMFs out the wazoo. I mean, now, granted, since I've been there, the screens have not been on. Her mom is very conscious about that. But there's at least five, if not more, big screen TVs on walls throughout this home. So my little body that is used to my medicine wheel and dirt and ground, I was 10 hours holding the baby while mom worked on screens upstairs, but in the house. And I went out after my time was up. I went outside and found a tree. And granted, I know how city people are. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I'll say, do you have a place you can go outside in your yard? Well, yeah, but the neighbors. I'm like, what? Just go. Who cares? It's your yard. Well, I did this. I hadn't done it the whole time I'd been there, but I went out in her backyard, not the front yard, the backyard. Granted, there's people all around. And I found a tree where I could sit facing away from the people, just facing the house. And I sat against the tree and leaned against the tree and played with the dog. Later, she comes and calls me and the dog in. And then I said, time passes. And I said, I'm going to go back outside. And she looked at me and her face went weird. And she's like, what? Why do you need to go out there? Like she doesn't know. And I saw for the first time, oh my goodness, she's embarrassed. She doesn't want me out in her yard doing that because of what the neighbors will say. This woman's 40. She's lived with me all her life. Well, not in close contact. This is worlds colliding. I had to do it anyway. And this is a place where, I know to be respectful of other people's beliefs while you're in their home. But at this point, I have to consider this providing a service, and they're going to have to adapt to me. This is one of those places where I had to speak my truth. She's like, "What are you doing out there?" I said, "I just need to ground." So this morning she sends me a picture. The dog has never done this. The dog usually goes out, does his business, comes inside. The dog is curled up under the tree that we sat under. And I said, "She's grounding." So you're going to have to give yourself room. And that may seem like a simple example. It's not. That's a big deal. There's more big deals to come. If they want me in that house, there's going to have to be some changes made. So, other things, and this is one thing here you need to know. Right now, Mars is in Aries, but on the 17th of this month, so this is the day after the moon, Sunday, it moves into Taurus. So we've been in this kind of fluid, I'm not going to think, I'm just going to make a decision and go. And we have a few more days of that. I mean, we're at the 13th now. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 more. Well, 3 more full days. So now it's like, this is why I do this early. Right now, between now, today, tomorrow, and Saturday, make some time to just sit and get clear on who you are, what you're here to do, what you're going to need, the structures you're going to need. And as many of those as you can put in place, put in place. This Mars and Aries placement encourages action without hesitation, decisive, identity-led, fast-moving. It pushes you to act on new value systems immediately. And it will stay here till the 17th. But then, and it doesn't mean it's going to go away. Mars is still Mars. It's still ruled by Aries. But if it moves into Taurus, it'll be slower, softer. And Taurus is going to help with those structures. So if there's long-term changes that you need, it's like, make your intentions accordingly. Then if you need help with that identity architecture, like who am I really? Saturn and Neptune, both in Aries. One's at 10 degrees, one's at 1. So they're going to be there while they're very slow moving planets sink into Neptune and find out who you really are. And then ask Saturn to show you the structures you need to support that and what needs to change. The bigger question then is experiment with how you live, move, and breathe in this world, and make sure it is true to who you really are. Jupiter is still in Cancer, so still supporting emotional, physical, self-care support. It's 21 degrees, so we have a minute or two of that nurturing, still providing nourishment, intuitive guidance, emotional safety. Oh yeah, Lynn, for sure. For sure, the dog misses me. I know this. Yeah, bless her heart. All right, so the core of this moon, Taurus new moon, redefine your worth and receiving. Venus in Gemini, value through communication and movement. Once you know your worth, you know who and what you're about, communicate that and begin to move. Uranus in Gemini is going to disrupt old money and messaging patterns so you can be true to who you are. Mercury in Taurus is going to anchor beliefs and make you say the thing, make you make the change. Mars in Aries, act